Right. ಇದು ಏನು ಹೋಯ್ತು ಗಾಳಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಫ್ಯಾನ್ ಬೇಡ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಈ ಗಾಳಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಸಾಕು. Friends, shall we start? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine. Let me come to the second aspect of the lecture, namely applicability of the NEP of 2020. How it can be applied, how it can be implemented in the coming year. Now, the NEP has envisaged a mechanism for the implementation and supervision of the NEP. It is called as a regulatory system of higher education. According to it, there is a top body called umbrella body, namely Higher Education Commission of India. This is the top body which has to be established by the government of India as a very important regulatory umbrella for the NEP of 2020. What are its functions? It is a small, independent body of eminent, spirited experts in the field of higher education. It will oversee and monitor the effective functioning of the higher education institutions in the country. It will act as a suitable mechanism in order to see the effective operation or the application of the NEP. It has the power to resolve the disputes that may take place among other vertical bodies working under its supervision. These are the four major functions envisaged by the NEP regarding this top body called Higher Education Commission of India. Under this body, there are four other bodies created vertically. Number one, National Higher Education Regulatory Council. It is the first vertical body. It will function as the common single point regulator, including teacher education. No, don't disturb. So the main function of the National Higher Education Regulatory Council will be to see and to promote the common single point regulation, including teacher education. It is the responsibility of this body to oversee the teacher education. It regulates the financial aspects of good governance, faculty, courses, and educational outcomes. These are the main functions of this first body working under the Education Commission of India. Then the second body is called NAC. NAC is already there, but here it is called NAC, National Accreditation Council. Accreditation means certificate. You know that how the present NAC, created in 1994, has been working, whose headquarters located in Bangalore. But under this NEP of 2020, National Accreditation Council is a meta accrediting body. It is called meta. Meta means above. Accrediting body through institutional development plans all educational institutions must be accredited during the next 15 years. That is very important. So stipulation is there. During the next 15 years, all institutions of higher education are to be accredited, and eventually they must become self-governing degree granting institutions. Self-governing degree granting institution. But I don't know whether it will be possible or not. We have to wait and see. It looks like an ideal thing, but it is a great responsibility on the part of this new body. And I don't know whether the present NAC, even though it is said it is being continued, but whether the same body will be interested in this function or not, it is not very clear. Then the third vertical body is called Higher Education Grants Council. It will carry out funding and financing of education based on a transparent criteria. But it is different from UGC. UGC is there and it will be there. Apart from this, this body has also got the power to carry out funding and financing. It will be entrusted with the disbursement of scholarships and the development funds. So here again, overlapping of function between this body and the UGC will have to be clarified. It have to be, cleared by the government of India. The fourth important body for the operation of this NEP is General Education Council, GEC it is called. It will frame expected learning outcomes for the higher education programs, refer to graduate attributes. So these graduate attributes are to be, supervised by this General Council, and it will also National Higher Education Qualification Framework will be formulated by this body to ease the integration of vocational education and higher education. So graduate attributes and National Higher Education Qualification Framework are the primary responsibilities of this General Education Council while implementing National Education Policy of India. It will set up facilitative norms for various issues such as credit transfer, equivalence, etc. Because academic credits are being stored by the Academic Bank of India, Academic Bank of Credits. So all these will be discussed by this body and issues will be sorted out. It will be mandated to identify specific skills that the students must acquire during their academic programs. So what kind of specific skills are to be developed by the students belonging to different faculties, are to be decided by it. Now these are the four important bodies, that develop and play a very important role in the application of this national education policy. The document has pointed out certain important steps are what we call guiding principles for the application of this NEP or for the implementation of this NEP. Now, what are these guiding principles? Number one, implementation of the spirit and intent of the policy is the most critical factor. Intent, that is the spirit, and the purpose. The governments at level and state level must understand the spirit. They have to go through it. They have to digest, understand, then they have to implement it. That is very, very important. Secondly, it is important to implement the policy initiatives in a phased manner, not at a time. That is why they have specified the 2030, 2040 as the decade in a phased manner. Many of the bodies that are being listed in this document have not been created. Even the Education Commission of India has not been appointed. It has not been appointed. By Bosha, they may take the steps after the general elections. Therefore, in a phased manner, No question of hurrying. Thirdly, the government should determine priorities. What kind of education they should give? Whether they should give priority to primary education, or higher education, or vocational education, or general educations. So from that point of view, prioritization will be very important in ensuring the application of this policy in a very effective manner and in a phased manner. This is the third guiding principle listed in the document. Fourth guiding principle is comprehensiveness in implementation is the key. Comprehensiveness. That is very important. It should be understood in a very comprehensive manner because the document advocates multidisciplinary approach, teaching in the local languages or sometimes in the bilingual languages, and giving importance to science subjects, giving importance to STEM subjects, giving importance to humanities, giving importance to social sciences, giving importance to arts and literature. Because under this document, all subjects receive equal importance or equal weightage. No discrimination.
73%.
Even the cultural studies are being encouraged.
The decision ಮೊತ್ತ ಕಂಡಿತ್ತು.
Even the distance education is being encouraged.
Practical ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ.
Online education,
ಇದರ theory
open education. That is, open university system is being encouraged. So when all branches of knowledge receive same attention, same importance, then you have to understand the document in a very comprehensive manner. That is a very important step to be taken at the time of implementing or what you call application in the application of this document. Therefore, there is no question of piecemeal approach in order to achieve desired objective. Then the fifth guideline is education is a concurrent list. As a result, it is the careful planning is needed by the center and the states, joint monitoring and collaborative implementation between the center and the states. I told you earlier, under the 42nd Amendment Act of 1976, education is in the concurrent list. So both the center and the states have got the authority to enact the laws regarding education. If there is a conflict between the two, then the law of the center will prevail over the law of the states. Mutual discussion, mutual consultation should take place. That requires joint planning by the center and the states, and joint implementation by the center and the states is required, and also joint monitoring and collaborative approach is very much required. Otherwise, it will be a very challenging, job for its effective implementation to realize its greater goal, greater objectives. Then the other important guideline is requisite resources is very important. What kind of resources? Human resources. Earlier, Education Ministry was called as MHRD, Ministry of Human Resources and Development. Now the nomenclature has been changed into Ministry of Education. But even then, in order to implement this program or this policy, we require sufficient, adequate human resources, both at the center level and at the state level. Staff, adequate staff is required, expertise is required, infrastructure is very important. How do you implement the quality education?
एक पैटर्न कोर्स ज्वाइन हो गया है ना,
Information technologies,
वीडियो चालू करना है बोलते हैं।
apps. Apps are very important to promote the quality teaching. Apps are important, and also financial resources. Mobilization is very important. So all these are to be taken into consideration, and therefore timely infusion of requisite resources is called. Infusion means you have to mobilize them. You have to increase these resources. Then only this policy can be implemented effectively, in the years to come. Then finally, it also says careful analysis and a review of the linkages between the multiple parallel implementation steps will be necessary in order to ensure effective implementation of this policy. So review is very important, periodic review. Suppose you grant an autonomy to a particular college. During that 5-year period, will that college work properly or effectively? Whether autonomy will be continued or not, depending upon its performance and outcome. So review has to be made, and that is being advocated for its effective, implementation. Any program, any policy must be subjected to periodic review. And it also suggests subject-wise implementation committees of experts. Subject-wise. It may be political science, or it may be economics, or it may be physics, chemistry, biology. Subject committee is to be appointed. That committee of experts will frame the syllabus according to the spirit of this document, and it will advise the government or the institution of higher education to implement it according to the spirit and objectives or the vision of this document. This is also, being emphasized. Therefore, it has called for the different roles by different bodies, like these bodies, which I mentioned earlier, like Ministry of Education, then the Central Advisory Board of Education, National Testing Agency, Departments of Boards, Department of Education, NCERT, SCERTs, schools, and other institutions. All these are involved for the effective implementation or the application of this national education policy. Now, friends, all this looks very interesting. Sometimes it looks like ideal. Sometimes it looks like a real also. In order to make it a real document or to implement it very effectively in the next decade or in the years to come, we have to analyze certain challenges. Now, what are these challenges? Number one, India is a federal system. In fact, today we have got a 3-tier system of government: central government, state governments, and local governments. Local governments have also been recognized constitutionally under the 73rd and 74th Amendments Acts. And many local governments have got great responsibility for the supervision and effective working of the primary schools or the schools at the village level. Therefore, their role is also very, very important. And at the state level, we have got state universities and the state colleges, and they are publicly funded. And in addition to them, there are private universities and private colleges. Please remember, according to this new document of NEP, there is no nomenclature called deemed university. All institutions of higher education, if they fulfill the criteria of a university, they are called as universities. Therefore, deemed to be universities, no, here afterwards, we should not use the word deemed to be universities. Only it is called university, according to this document. Then at the central level, we have got central universities. Today, I told you earlier, there are 54 central universities. The central government has taken the steps to establish at least one central university in every state. In every state. For example, in Karnataka, we have got a central university in Gulbarga district. In Kerala, they have got central university in Kasaragod. That is in the backward region. At the central level, in Delhi, there are many central universities, but they are controlled and financed by the central government. And therefore, in a federal system like ours, when different political parties are ruling the center and the states under the multi-party system, it is very difficult to get the coordination between the central government and the state governments regarding the implementation of this NEP of 2020. We have already seen the dichotomy between Karnataka Congress government and central government. Even though Karnataka government had already launched the implementation, But the Congress government, when it came to power in the last year, confrontation has been there, and therefore it has stopped, the implementation of the NEP, and it wants to go for a new SCP, state education policy. We have to wait and see. Same thing with Kerala, with Tamil Nadu, ruled by the DMK government, with regard to Kerala, ruled by, the LDF government, led by CPM party, and also TMC government in West Bengal. Now they are all not cooperating with the center. This is a big challenge. Securing the coordination between the center and the states is a very big problem. And you have to wait and see how to solve this problem. How to solve this problem? Can you go to the Supreme Court for everything? Supreme Court is overburdened. It is overburdened. You cannot approach the Supreme Court for everything. And sometimes the high courts may not be able to solve this problem. So under this thing, it is better, as several commissions have pointed out, that the mutual consultation, mutual discussion between the central government and state government would go a long way for the application of this NEP of 2020. Now for this, the Prime Minister, earlier we had a National Development Council. This National Development Council was something like a apex body, which included the Prime Minister and Chief Minister of all the states. And that body used to meet at least once in a year or twice in a year. It was something like a summit of India, summit meeting of the Indian government. But that has been abolished. Now, under the Niti Aayog, they have got a governing council. Now, governing council has become an apex body. But it is not meeting very rarely. It is very difficult. It is not meeting in recent times. Very rarely it meets. So it is the duty of the education minister. Now, who is the present education minister? It is Dharmendra Pradhan. It is his duty to convene the education minister of the state governments, convince them, discuss them, and solve the problem regarding the implementation. If it is not possible, then he requests the Prime Minister of India, let him convene the chief ministers meeting, discuss the pros and cons, convince them, give them funds, financial for the implementation of the NEP of 2020 with minor changes as per the feedback obtained from the state governments. This is one challenge, and this can be solved. Nothing is impossible. After all, democracy means it is a government by discussion. It is a government by deliberation. Compromises, give and take approach, must be there. Political differences should not make the society to suffer. People today are alert. They have become very vigilant. They are watching. Electronic media, print media are very powerful today. Media is playing a very central role and crucial role. Therefore, give and take approach and a mutual consultation approach will go a long way for the implementation of this NEP, in India. That is one. Second challenge is achieving a global standard. Is it possible? How do you, is there any university in India which may be compared to Harvard University or Yale University or Stanford University or Institute of Massachusetts or Chicago University or Oxford University or Cambridge University? We have good institutions, no doubt, but regarding quality and research, can we compare these to those institutions? Now, this is a big question mark. Talking is easy. It looks like an utopian. It takes a very long time to achieve the global standards. No doubt, our students are intelligent. Many of our teachers are very intelligent. They are innovative. They are creative. They are the enablers. They are the scholars. No doubt, they are the good researchers. But sometimes they lack opportunities. Funds are not available. What is the GDP we are devoting for research in India? NEP itself has noted that we have earmarked only 0.69% of GDP for research work. Is it sufficient? In America, it is 2% or 3%. In China, it is more than 2%. That is why Chinese, they are excelling India in many areas of research and education. And therefore, achieving the global standard, both in teaching and research, is a daunting task. Nothing is impossible, I agree, but it is a daunting task. Many scholarly teaching posts are not appointed. There is a political interference in the universities, in the appointment of vice chancellors, in the recruitment of teachers, in the promotion of teachers. There is a politics among the teachers in many universities. Now, if you go to, Uttar Pradesh, many professors, I believe they don't want to become vice chancellors because they cannot go to their offices. Problems are there. I don't know. Recently, it might have changed because of, Yogi Adityanath, Yogi's, chief leadership or government. Things might have changed, but problems are there. Problems are plenty. Earlier, we had great scholars as vice chancellor. Lakshmana Swami Madaliya, probably would have heard his name. He was the vice chancellor of Madras University for 25 years. Lakshmana Swami Madaliya, great scholar. In Mysore University, K.M. Panikar was appointed as vice chancellor. You know that? He was our ambassador to China. He was a great historian. K.M. Panikar, he was a Keralite. Nijlingappa, who was the chief minister at the time, brought him from Delhi and requested him to be the vice chancellor of Mysore University. But unfortunately, he died while he was in office. K.L. Srimali, who was the education minister in the Nehru cabinet, he became the vice chancellor of Mysore University during the 60s when I was a student of degree in Maharajas College. He brought a lot of money from the central government to improve the infrastructure in the Manasa Gangotri campus. Open air theatre was created during his regime. Morarji Desai was the finance minister and they were the colleagues and he brought money. Adke, for example, DC Pavate in Dharwad. Today, what is the state of Dharwad University? Recently, there was a news item that Dharwad University is suffering from financial crunch. There is no money to run the university. So all these things you must take into consideration. Therefore, friends, achieving the global standard, I agree, it is a great thing. It is a good ideal. Nothing is impossible. There is a saying, aim at the sky, shoot at the tree. Everybody should have a dream. The former president, who was called Mysore, he was telling that we should have Abdul Kalam. He was telling that you should have a dream. Teachers must have dreams. Students must have dreams. You must try to realize them. But it is a great task. It requires encouragement, support from the government. Today, many political parties are indulging in the so-called politics of populism, politics of freebies, guarantees. Where is the money? What will be the long-term impact? What happened in Sri Lanka? What is happening in many African countries? Sudan, Haiti, you are all reading and seeing in the TVs, newspapers. What is happening in the Middle East? At least we are much better. Therefore, friends, it is not a joke to realize this objective or the vision, of this document, but it requires lot of cooperation, lot of patience, lot of hard work, not only from the society, not only from the government, but also from the teachers. Teachers are the builders of the institution. You are the builders of the institutions. You must identify yourself with the institutions. That is how, the institution will grow. Don't think that government college will know it. No, it is your college. You have to identify. It has given you the place. It has given you the chance to serve there. It is giving you all facilities. You must identify yourself with that institute. Prepare research projects, long-term, short-term research project, minor, major research project. Submit them. Try to buy equipments. Try to improve the institutions. That is how one has to think and take an initiative and what we call the challenge. And therefore, this is a big challenge, achieving global standards. Ranking universities, when we see out of 200 world ranking universities, Indian universities don't find. According to our ranking, some of them are good, that's okay. But according to the world ranking, most of our institutions have not been able to achieve even 100 ranks. This is the problem. It doesn't mean that I am denigrating our institution. They are, but they are talking about the world recognition. How they teach, how they work, how they write, how they publish. How many of Indian scholars got the Nobel Prize for economics, Nobel Prize for physics, Nobel Prize for literature? Only handful. Only handful, but most of the Nobel Prizes are being taken away by the Americans or by the Europeans because they have got such infrastructure, hard working. A great professor in America is purchased. There is no retirement for him. Even if he works beyond 80 years, he will be purchased. That's how Yale University is working. Harvard University is working. But in India, people are waiting for retirement. They want to kick out the eminent professors. Universities are politicized. This should not happen in our country. It is a big problem. We have to think over it. Number 3, financial resources. Where do you get money? Modi is talking that India is the 5th largest economy. And by 2047, India will become 3rd largest economy in the world. Maybe, but how much money you are spending for the education sector? In 21-22 budget of the central government, 50,000 crore was provided for, National Research Foundation. Only 50,000 crore. Was it sufficient? How do you go to the moon? How do you conduct a space? India is considered as a space power, nuclear power, military power, economic power, but not educational power. How to achieve the status of educational power? You require more money. State governments, they are not bothered about because large amount of money is being spent on salaries from primary education level to university education. Therefore, for research, for infrastructure development, for other equipments, money is not sufficient. This is the big problem. And therefore, the central government and state governments must think about, the augmenting the resources, spending more money on education for the implementation of this program, or what we call this document. Then another important challenge is recruitment of quality and qualified teachers. Now, NEP has removed the MPhil degrees. It is emphasizing the PhD degrees. NET. Now, quality. Now, today, PhDs are being produced in a large scale. In a large scale. What is the relevance of these PhDs? Any research must have a social relevance. Any research, whether of social science, or natural science, or medical science, or engineering science, any subject, it must have a social relevance. UGC has given many guidelines that PhD theses are to be scrutinized, this and that. But in many universities, PhD theses are evaluated by the local examiners, by the state examiners only. When we were students, our theses were evaluated by the foreigners. There was a system, but now that system has been removed in many universities. Now, where do you find the standard? Now, this is a big problem. Quality, PhD quality, understanding the research methodology, writing the thesis, writing the research papers in the peer reviewed journals, in the international journals, in the acclaimed national journals, is a big challenge. Is a very big challenge. Let us do introspection. Let us do the introspection. When you serve for 30 years, how many publications you bring out? How many books you publish? I have seen some people, they copy from other books. Nowadays, students have stopped reading the books. They are not going to the libraries because of internet, because of smartphone. If you go to the apps, Baiju apps, everything is available. Sometimes that information is not updated. It is not genuine. Sometimes it is wrong because somebody will upload it and you depend on that. If you want to get the correct information, go to the classical work. Go to the government reports. They are the primary sources of information. In order to make it more authentic, how do you quote the footnotes? Whenever you quote somebody, you will put the footnotes. For that, you have to read the books. Francis Bacon was a great English literary figure in the 17th century England, said, reading makes a full man, conference a ready man, writing an exact man. Please you note down. You must put it in your classrooms. Today, people have forgotten all these three. Reading makes a full man. Voracious reader. One should be a voracious reader. A teacher is always a learner. A teacher is always a reader. When Radhakrishnan was the president, he was addressing the public gathering. And he said, learning audience. He never said learned audience. Because he said, nobody is completely learned. Learning is a lifelong process. Knowledge is like an ocean. Knowledge is like an ocean. 30, 40 years experience is not enough. And that, therefore, because man has his own limitations. Therefore, reading makes a full man. Books, writing an exact man. Conference. Now you are attending the course on NEP. You are meeting your people. You are talking with a resource person. You will come to know what NEP is, what are its merits, how it is suitable to India, how it is applicable to India. There are other lectures also, how communication is emphasized, how inclusive education is emphasized, so on and so forth. Therefore, friends, reading, writing, and conference, all these three are very important. And in your colleges, you have to conduct all these things. Conduct colloquium, conduct seminars, conduct symposia, ask the students to prepare the paper. Every teacher should present one paper every month on the subject which he teaches. Let there be a group discussion. Let there be an open discussion. That we are not doing. In many colleges, they are not doing. We have to learn a lot from many institutions like JNU. JNU, even though it has become a political center, but it is a good university. They have got a school system, School of Social Sciences, School of Natural Sciences, and there are different centers within particular school. Delhi University. If you go to Tamil Nadu, many autonomous colleges are well known. Madras Christian College, Madras Presidency College. You know, they earn money, they mobilize the resources, not only through philanthropic donations, but also through submitting project works, minor, major research projects work, interacting, organizing so many seminars. Therefore, it is an initiative that has to be taken by the stakeholders and the teachers. And that is why quality teachers is very important. And qualified teachers appointment is very important. How to retain them? How to retain them when they are appointed? In Mysore University, the Vice Chancellor recently made a statement that 40% of the sanctioned posts are vacant. In my own department, in the Department of Political Science, where I taught for 30 years, today there is only, I think, only one permanent teacher. Only one permanent teacher. How we can manage? With the help of the guest lecturers, with the help of the research scholars. What kind of quality we expect? What kind of international standard we expect? A teacher, communication. Teaching is not a joke, friends. Teaching is a challenging job. Teaching is a challenging job. Organization of thought, delivering in the classroom, effective communication, analyzing, critical thinking, inspiring. One Vice Chancellor was telling, there are 4 kinds of teachers. The first category of teacher is bad teachers, he used to call them. A bad teacher always complains. He always criticizes the students. He criticizes the principal. He criticizes students, counts, and everybody. He is a man with negative mind. That is one category. Second category is poor teachers. There are some teachers who go to the classroom to read in the classroom. They take the old notes. There was one teacher in the classroom who was not taking the notes because this teacher was dictating the old notes. And the teacher got annoyed. Why you are not taking the notes? Then that student said, sir, I have got your notes. How? you dictate the same notes to my father was your teacher, and the same notes you are teaching to me, history. And this is what we call update, no updation of the knowledge. Even history is also updated. History is also revised. Therefore, second category. Third category teacher is average teachers. What average teacher do? They read in the classroom. They will take the notes and read in the classroom. And as soon as 40 minutes are over, they will come out. 10 minutes going late, 10 minutes coming out early.
ये वाला नहीं,
Then the
वो
fourth
लेकर खाना मिक्सचर नहीं
inspiring,
है, तो इसको क्यों लाया? हम नहीं खाएंगे इसको,
inspiring teachers are those
हम नहीं खाएंगे मिक्सचर, क्यों नहीं लेकर के आया?
students in the classroom.
तो इसका मतलब
Hello? Who inspire the students in the classroom? Inspiration is very important. Excellence. Excellence is the buzzword. You must go to the class with the latest knowledge, with the latest information. By reading latest articles on yourself, on various aspects. Now that is what we call inspiring. Your communication, your body language, your appealing approach, your dress, your personality, all these will have either negative impact or positive impact on the learners. Now, whenever the students in the University of Mysore during 60s and early 70s, professors, they were coming with suits and boots. And it was a pleasure to see them and to listen to them. But today, we rarely see the suit and boot. Today's teachers are getting very good salary, but they don't bother about the dress. But in those days, they were getting very less salary. A university professor was getting only about 800 rupees or 1000 rupees. But money had value because dress makes the man. Scholarship makes the man. A teacher should spend some money to buy the books, to buy the journals, to subscribe the newspapers. Every teacher should read the newspapers daily. Otherwise, our knowledge will become outdated. Because what is happening today will not be there tomorrow. Tomorrow there will be a new thing, a new development. If there is anything permanent in the world, that is only change. Change is permanent. And you have to change according to the times. You must understand the spirit of the time. And you must develop the courage, confidence, ability. What NFA says, integrity. You must be a man of integrity. Because, teachers are highly respected. In America, I have seen professors are highly respected. Not politicians, not others. Who advises Joe Biden? He is an old man of 81 years old. He is a president. He is contesting for the second term. America is a great power. America is behaving as a global policeman. Who advises him? Either on the Middle East or regarding India-America relations or regarding India's diaspora. It is a think tank. It is the scholars. In India, our politicians, they don't want scholars. They don't want think tank people. They depend upon their own coterie. And that is why our policies are not well made. They are totally depending upon so-called bureaucrats. Therefore, friends, we the teachers, the future of this country is depending upon you. It's depending upon the classroom teaching, how you inspire, how you produce the great students who becomes the great leaders of tomorrow, civil servants of tomorrow, good judges of tomorrow. That is why qualified teachers is a good talent.
ತುಂಬಾ ಲೇಟ್ ನಿಮ್ದು ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ರಪ್ಪ ತುಂಬಾ ಲೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಏನದು
Disturbance. See, this is the card. When there is a lecture, don't have this kind of, you should not carry the mobile. Don't interact with your friends or family member or other things. Discipline is very important. Classroom is classroom. You are the sovereign master in the classroom. That's why a teacher should have an audience sense, what one writer says. He should have an audience sense. What kind of students you are teaching? When you are teaching in Chamarajanagar, students from backward region come. You must go to their level. When you teach in Bangalore, you must go to the level of the Bangalore students. When you go to Delhi, level is important. Audience sense is important. And that is why, friends, I always think that according to my experience, teaching is a noble profession. Teaching is a noble profession, I say. It's a great profession. We produce judges, we produce politicians, we produce common citizens. ಮೇಷ್ಟ್ರೇ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾತು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೆಲೆ ಉಂಟು ಗೊತ್ತಾ ನಿಮಗೆ? ಅದನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವು. We are very lucky that we have been entered into the teaching profession. I am very happy. ನಮಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಏನೇನೋ ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗಿರುವ ಅದು ಬೇರೆ ವಿಷಯ. But teaching, when you enter into the classroom, you forget the whole world because your ideas are great. You want to create a new India, digital India. ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ it is the students who get inspiration from the great teacher, inspiring teacher. An excellent teacher is an inspiring teacher. ಅದು ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಡಿಗ್ನಿಟಿನ ನೀವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಒನ್ ಶುಡ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ ಡಿಗ್ನಿಟಿ. ಇಂಥದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟ. ಏನೋ ರಿಕ್ರೂಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್. ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಬರ್ತವೆ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಬಾರ್ದು. ಇವತ್ತು ಮೊದಲು NET ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇತ್ತು, ಬಟ್ ಈಗೇನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗಳು ಏನೇನು ನಡೀತದೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕದೆ ಇದ್ದವನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ. ಅದು that has led to the reduction of the quality in education. Idu another big challenge. Then providing world class infrastructure is another challenge. World class what kind of infrastructure you provide? ನೀವು ಬನ್ನಿ ಮಾನಸ ಗಂಗೋತ್ರಿಗೆ, ಕೆಲವು ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಸುಣ್ಣ ಬಣ್ಣ ಹೊಡೆದಿರ್ಬೋದು ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ, ಬಟ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನಥಿಂಗ್. ಅನೇಕ ಕಡೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಬಾತ್ರೂಮ್ಗಳು ಸರಿ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ಗಳು ಸರಿ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಬೋಲ್ಟ್ಗಳು ನಟ್ಗಳು ಸರಿ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಮಳೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಲೀಕ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಹಾಸ್ಟೆಲ್ಗಳಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಲೀಕ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಲೈಬ್ರರಿಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಇನ್ಫ್ರಾಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್? ನೀವು ಬೇರೆ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಹೋಗಿ, ನೀವು ಬೇರೆ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಹೋಗಿ, ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಅನ್ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ. ನಮ್ ಡೇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಅಬ್ರಾಡ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎ ಜೋಕ್. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವಿಸಿಟ್ ಅ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಲೈಫ್ ಟೈಮ್. 1-2 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಒಂದು ತಿಂಗಳ ಸಂಬಳ, 1-2 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವಿಸಿಟ್ ಯುರೋಪ್. ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಟೂರಿಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಯಾಕೇಜಸ್. Visit America, see how infrastructure is developed there. Small universities. ನಾನು ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಸ್ವೀಡನ್ ಹೋದಾಗ ಲುಂಡ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ, ಎ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಸಿಟಿ ಇನ್ ಸ್ವೀಡನ್, ಗೊತ್ತಾ, ಸದರ್ನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ವೀಡನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದರ ಇನ್ಫ್ರಾಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ನೋಡಿ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ಪ್ರೈಸ್ಡ್. ಆಸ್ಲೋಗೆ ಹೋದೆ, ನಾರ್ವೆ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಐ ವೆಂಟ್ ಟು ಒನ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ, ಐ ಸಾ ದ ಇನ್ಫ್ರಾಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್, ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ಲಿ ಅಮೇಜ್ಡ್. ಹೇಗಿದೆ ಅಮೇರಿಕಾ ಬಿಡಿ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್. ಅವರು ರೋಡ್ಗಳು ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದಾವೆ, ಇನ್ನು ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಬೇಕಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವಿದಾವೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಹೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಒಂದೇ ತರ. ನೋ ಆರ್ಕಿಟೆಕ್ಚರಲ್ ಲುಕ್, ನೋ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್, ನೋ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಣ್ಣ ಹೊಡಿಸ್ಬಿಡೋದು, ಒಳಗಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರಿಟಿ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಥವೆಲ್ಲ ನಡೀತವೆ. ಈಗ ಮೈಸೂರು ಬಂದಾಗ ನೀವು ಕ್ರಾಫರ್ಡ್ ಹೋಗಿ, ಅದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಆ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ, ಮಹಾರಾಜರ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ. ಆದರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಮೇಂಟೆನೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದ್ರ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ಆಗಿ. There is no proper maintenance. When we were the students and the teacher, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂಥರ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗೋದು. It was a pleasure to visit Crawford Hall. ಬಟ್ ಇವತ್ತು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗೋಕೆ ಬೇಜಾರಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ? ಇವತ್ತು ದುಡ್ಡಿಲ್ಲ ಮೇಂಟೆನೆನ್ಸ್ಗೆ, ಸುಣ್ಣ ಬಣ್ಣ ಹೊಡೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ ದುಡ್ಡಿಲ್ಲ ಇವತ್ತು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ. ಆ ಲೆವೆಲ್ಗೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ. Therefore, going for world class infrastructure is a very, very big challenge. ಏನೋ ಅದು ಮೋದಿ ಅಂತವರು ವೆರಿ ರೇರ್ ಅಂತ ಲೀಡರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟೀಸ್ ತಗ. ಈಸ್ ಎ ಬಿಲ್ಡರ್ of the institution, is the build. ಅವರು ಈಗ ನೀವು ವಾರಣಾಸಿಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಈ ಚೇಂಜ್ ದ ವೆರಿ ಫೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾರಣಾಸಿ. ಅಯೋಧ್ಯ ಇವತ್ತು ಆ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನ ಕಟ್ಟೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ದುಡ್ಡು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು 10% ಈಗ ಆಲೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ. ಎಸ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ದಿ ಫೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಗುಜರಾತ್. ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೀನ್ ಗುಜರಾತ್. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಪ್ರಿಷಿಯೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಅವನು. ನಾನು ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಬಿಲಾಂಗ್ ಟು BJP ಪಾರ್ಟಿ, ಯಾವ ಪಾರ್ಟಲ್. ಎಸ್ ಎ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವರ್, ಎಸ್ ಎ ಸಿಟಿಸನ್, ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆ ಥರ ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ವಿಷನ್. ನೋಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಪ್ರಪಂಚ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ವೆರಿ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ವೆರಿ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್. ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಈಸ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಸ್, ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಈಸ್ ರೂಲಿಂಗ್ ಅಸ್. ಇದನ್ನು ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಯು ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡರ್. ಇದು ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಬಿಗ್ ಚಾಲೆಂಜ್. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆನೂ ಕೂಡ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ಕೆಲವು ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಕಟ್ಟಡಗಳೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ. ನಾನು ವಿಸಿಟೆಡ್ ಸಮ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಸ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇರಳ as a member of the NAC team and coordinator. ಏನು ಆಕ್ಸ್ಫರ್ಡ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಅಂತಾರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ಟಡಗಳು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಕೇರಳದಲ್ಲಿ ದುಡ್ಡಿದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್, ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್. ಇನ್ಫ್ರಾಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರ್, ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ ಆಂಬಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೇವೆ. when there is a very good academic ambience, people sit there, work there, they will be there. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಂದಾಗ they will get out. ಪಾಠ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ ಹೊರಟ, ಇದು ಆಗಬಾರದು. ಅದರಿಂದ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್, this is another big challenge, in the implementation of this what you call infrastructure. ನೀವು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ, ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಮನಿ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಬೈ ಮೈಸೂರು ಮಾರಾಣಿಸ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ, ಲೇಡೀಸ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಹಾಸ್ಟೆಲ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸ್. ಇವರು ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಹೇಳಿದಾರಲ್ಲ, ಹಾಸ್ಟೆಲ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿ, ಕುಡಿಯೋ ನೀರನ್ನ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿ ಸಾಕು. ಬರೀ ಬಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಯಾಣ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ಲ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ, ಬಡವರು ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡಲಿ, ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಉಚಿತವಾಗಿ ಬಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ವಸೂಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಸರ್ಕಾರಗಳು, ರಾಜಕಾರಣಿಗಳು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಲಾಂಗ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಜನಗಳು, ಇಫ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಸ್ವೇಡ್ ಬೈ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಗಿಫ್ಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಅದು ಬಹಳ ಕಷ್ಟ. ಒನ್ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಎಮೋಷನಲ್. ಅಮೆರಿಕಾದಲ್ಲಿ ದೇ ಕ್ವಶ್ಚನ್ ದ ಪಾಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ಸ್. ಏನು ಡಿಬೇಟ್, ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಡಿಬೇಟ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಟ್ರಂಪ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಜೋ ಬೈಡನ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಫಾರಿನ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ, ಅಬೌಟ್ ಡೊಮೆಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಅದರ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ರಿ ಇದೆ ಡಿಬೇಟ್ಗಳು? ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಟಿವಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಜನ ಕರೆಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕೂಗಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಅವ್ನು ಇವ್ನು ಅರ್ಚಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವ್ನು ಇವ್ನು ಅರ್ಚಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಅದಲ್ಲ, ಲೀಡರ್ಸನ್ನ ಕರೆದು ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಆನ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್. ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ವೆರಿ ಬಿಗ್ ಚಾಲೆಂಜ್. ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಚೇಂಜಿಂಗ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸೋ ಈಸಿ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಚೇಂಜಿಂಗ್, ಬಟ್ ಚೇಂಜಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್. ಅದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಇದೆ. ಇದು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಚಾಲೆಂಜ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಿವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಫಿಯರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ರೆಲ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೈಯರ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್. ಪ್ರಿವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಫಿಯರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಾಲ್ಗಳ ಅಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ವೈಸ್ ಚಾನ್ಸಲರ್ಗಳ ಅಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವರು as soon as they become professors, they want to become vice chancellors. ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೋಟಿನ ಆಗಲಿ ಅಂತ ಇದು ಮಾತಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಓಪನ್ ಆಗಿ. ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೀನ್ ಇದಾಗುವ ಹಿಂದೆ ವೈಸ್ ಚಾನ್ಸಲರ್ಸ್ ವರ್ ಇನ್ವೈಟೆಡ್. ಪುಟ್ಟಪ್ಪನವರು he did not want to become vice chancellor. K. Hanumanthaya requested him to become the vice chancellor. K. V. Puttappa was a poet laureate, ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಅವರು VC ಆಗಿದ್ದಾಗಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಅವರು ಲಿಟರರಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಗಮನ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಹೊರತು ನಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್. he left everything to the registrar. ಅವರು ವೆನೆವರ್ he went to ವಿಧಾನಸೌಧ, ಹನುಮಂತಯ್ಯನವರು ಚೀಫ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆದಾಗ 3ನೇ ಫ್ಲೋರಿಂದ ಬರೋದು ಅವರನ್ನ ಇನ್ವೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಾರಂತೆ. ಈಗಿನ ವೈಸ್ ಚಾನ್ಸಲರ್ಸು ಕ್ಲರ್ಕ್ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೈ ಕಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ಬೇಕು, ಆ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಇವತ್ತು. ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಾಲ್ಗಳು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಆ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಇವತ್ತು. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಇವತ್ತಿನ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. DC ಪಾವಟೆ, ಇವು ಹೂ ಬಿಕೇಮ್ ದಿ ಗವರ್ನರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಂಜಾಬ್, ಅವ್ರು ಎಂತ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮ್ಯಾಥಮ್ಯಾಟಿಷಿಯನ್ ಅಂತ ನಿಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಅಂತ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಆಡಳಿತ ಮಾಡಿದ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಯಾವ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಹೀಗೆ ಅನೇಕ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳು, ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಫಿಯರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಗಾಡ್ ಫಾದರ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ nobody can become vice chancellor, whatever may be his qualification, whatever may be his. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾನಾ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಗಳು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದು ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು. ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಏನೇ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಇದು ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಈ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಫಿಯರೆನ್ಸ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೌ ಟು ಪ್ರಿವೆಂಟ್ ಇಟ್, ಅದು ನೀವೇ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಗವರ್ನರ್ನ ಪ್ರೋ ಚಾನ್ಸಲರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅವನು ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಫಿಯರ್. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ತಮಿಳ್ನಾಡು ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇರಳ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಹೌ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಕನ್ಫ್ರಾಂಟಿಂಗ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡದೆ ಹೋಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಇನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲೊಬ್ಬ ಗವರ್ನರ್ ಇದ್ರು, ಯಾರೋ ಹೆಸರಪ್ಪ, ದಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಈ ಇಂಟರ್ಫಿಯರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ. ಆ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ವಾಸ್ ದಿ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಮೊದಲು. ಅವರು ಅಂಥವ್ರು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ವಾಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ಟು ದಿ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್? ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಎವ್ರಿವೇ. ಕಾನ್ಫ್ಲಿಕ್ಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್. ಆಗ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರ್,
I think Bharadwaj Amsharaj sir,
and universities will be considered as departments of the state government. ಇದಾಗಬಾರ್ದು. This is another big challenge. ಇದಾದ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್, ಅಚೀವಿಂಗ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ರೆಕಗ್ನಿಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್. ಅಚೀವಿಂಗ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ರೆಕಗ್ನಿಷನ್ ಇದು ಅಷ್ಟು ಸುಲಭನೇ. ಅಚೀವಿಂಗ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ರೆಕಗ್ನಿಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್. ಇವತ್ತು ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದಿ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ರ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್, we have some institutions which have got topmost post within India. ಈಗ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ಲಿ JNU, ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬನಾರಸ್ ಹಿಂದೂ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ, ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಸಮ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟೀಸ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಬೆಟರ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್. ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಮಿರಾಂಡಾ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಇನ್ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಶ್ರೀರಾಮ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಇನ್ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ. ಮಿರಾಂಡಾ, ಶ್ರೀರಾಮ ಕಾಲೇಜ್, ದೇ ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ಗ್ರೇಟ್. They are on the top. Madras Christian College, Presidency College, they are on the top. Law ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಲಾ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರ್, one of the top institute. IIC, Indian Institute of Science, and IITs, Indian Institute of Technologies. Now they are all on the top. But world ranking ಇನ್ನೂ ಬರಕ್ಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. It is very difficult to bring them at the level of the world ranking. ಆ ರ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಬರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಬಹಳ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ you can imagine how much money we have to invest, how much infrastructure we have to develop, how much quality teachers we have to appoint or recruit and to retain them, and what kind of quality research and teaching we have to promote. Adu, it is a big issue. Adu impossible enalla, ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ in foreign countries, they are doing very well. I have seen in America, many ಅಮೆರಿಕಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಶೋಧನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವರೆಲ್ಲ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಸೇ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಹೌ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಎನ್ಕರೇಜಿಂಗ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇಲ್ಲ, ದೀಸ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ದೇರ್. ನೌ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಆಸ್ಟ್ರೇಲಿಯಾ ಅಂಡ್ ನೌ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬ್ರಿಟನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅದರ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಅವಕಾಶ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರೆ ವಿ ರಿಟೈನ್ ದೆಮ್, ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆಂಟ್, ವೆರಿ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟಿವ್, ವೆರಿ ಇನೋವೇಟಿವ್, ವೆರಿ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ಫುಲ್. ಬಟ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅವಕಾಶಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರಿಟೈನ್. The manpower, brain train ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು. We have to gain the brain. ಇದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. That is why the government is, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೋದಿ government is emphasizing make in India, startups, make in India. ಇವತ್ತು make in India project is a scheme. Because of that, Indians have been able to manufacture so many things in all walks of life. ಅದರಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಕಾನಮಿನೂ ಕೂಡ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಎಕಾನಮಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಕಾಂಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಈಗ ಒಂದೇ ಭಾರತ್ ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಟ್ರೈನ್ಗಳು, ಬೋಗಿಗಳೆಲ್ಲ, ಅವುಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡರ್ನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡೋರು ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ಸೇ. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇನ್ವೈಟೆಡ್ ದ ಫಾರಿನರ್ಸ್. ಅನೇಕ ವಸ್ತುಗಳನ್ನು ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರ್ಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಅರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಮನಿ, ವಿ ಆರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟಿಂಗ್. ದೇರ್ ಬೈ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಎಕಾನಮಿ ಈಸ್ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವಿಂಗ್, ಇಟ್ ಡೆವಲಪಿಂಗ್. ಆ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ನ ಇನ್ನೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. Then finally, friends, the coordination which I mentioned earlier, ಇವತ್ತು 14 states and union territories are yet to sign the memorandum of understanding with the union government. MOU ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. Because recently the government of India has brought a new scheme called ಪ್ರಧಾನ ಮಂತ್ರಿ ಉಚ್ಚತಾರ ಶಿಕ್ಷಾ ಅಭಿಯಾನ ಅಂತ. ಪ್ರಧಾನ ಮಂತ್ರಿ ಉಚ್ಚತಾರ್ ಶಿಕ್ಷಾ ಅಭಿಯಾನ್, PM ಉಷಾ ಅಂತ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ while implementing the NEP of 2020, 40% of the money will be borne by the state governments ಅಂತ. ಉಳಿದದನ್ನ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಕೊಡ್ತದೆ, 40% ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಬಟ್ ಅನ್ಫಾರ್ಚುನೇಟ್ಲಿ many state governments have not agreed. So this program, this new program, name it is a new scheme to improve the quality of higher education in the state universities. Yavado Pradhana Mantri Uchatar Shiksha Abhiyana, like RUSA. Earlier RUSA was launched in 2013 with conditions. Depending state governments must spend some money on the improvement of infrastructure. I don't know how many colleges and universities had utilized that scheme, that RUSA scheme under 2013. ಅದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಕೂಡ ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ತಂದರು, ಪ್ರಧಾನ ಮಂತ್ರಿ ಉಚ್ಚತಾರ್ ಶಿಕ್ಷಾ ಅಭಿಯಾನ್ ಅಂತ. ಉಚ್ಚತಾರ್ ಶಿಕ್ಷಾ ಅಭಿಯಾನ್. ದೇರ್ ವರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಗವರ್ನಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದಮ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ವಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್. ಇದರಿಂದಾಗಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಸ್ಲೋ ಮೂವ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ NEP of 2020 throughout the country. Even the central government has to take steps, for the implementation of scheme by appointing umbrella body and other relevant bodies in order to implement this scheme, in a phased manner, and thereby to complete it by 2040. ಅಂದ್ರೆ in another 15 years ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ. ಬಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ it is yet to be achieved. Therefore, today, not only that, even in the field of social sciences, there is no much progress. NEP is giving importance to social sciences also. But regarding the quality of social sciences, regarding the framing of syllabuses, and also updation of syllabuses or syllabi, the governments at the central and state level are not very much interested. Therefore, when you insist on skilled education only or vocational education, naturally, majority of the students will opt for science subjects or the STEM subjects. They will not opt for economics or social science or literature. This is another drawback, of this new education policy. But friends, Stella idrunu kuda, the NEP is giving lot of, weightage, to science and technology, and also to various aspects of the subjects. And therefore, according to me, this NEP of 2020 is highly suitable to India, but its application or implementation is greatly depending upon the cooperation and the coordination between the central government and the state governments. The center has to allocate more percentage in its budget for higher education, and it has to fund state universities and state governments for its implementation. Under the Indian federal system, if the center is affluent, states are effluents. States' resources are meager. They are called effluents. Center is affluent. That you remember, one letter is different. Prefix is different. Center is always very rich because it has got the financial resources to such an extent that it is very rich. And therefore, many state governments say that we are the mendicants before the central government. This should be avoided through mutual consultation. Politics should not come in the way of distribution of financial resources between the central government and the state governments. So with this, I would stop here. We have got another 10 minutes. Let there be discussion. Yes, what are your views about its implementation? What is your view? Do you accept my argument that this policy is suitable to India or not? Or does it need any modification? Does it need any modification?
Hello, sir. I am Dr. Chandrashekar
Ah,
from Karnataka State Open University.
oh, okay. Just,
Sir, you given a wonderful lecture. There is no doubt about the NEP. So my question is it possible of implementation of NEP in on distance learning education?
yes. It is also emphasizing very importance of this online distance education, and no discrimination has been made by this policy. It is possible. IGNO is doing very well. Your university is doing very well.
Yeah, but
your
my
university was the source of our university earlier.
But
It was called
especially
Distance Education Center. We started this to finance the University of Mysore, but now it has become a separate university. It is doing very well, and I have been reading in the newspapers that you are coming out with new programs, online programs, outreach programs, and you are offering so many, short-term, long-term programs, degree programs, PG programs, and of course, now MPhil program is disbanded. And I think as a result, NEP is not against distance education or online education. It is focusing on that. It is giving importance to online education also, like regular education.
But at present, in the national wide, there is no NEP. Still, they are not implementing.
That is a problem. You are right. I agree with you. That is the problem. It is a slow manner. Even the central government, I don't think why they have not, they have announced it, they have published the report, but the steps they have taken are not sufficient. They are not very effective. It is a very slow move process, and we have to wait and say, let the new government comes, what will happen.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Coordination
But,
in the-
IGNOU is doing very well. IGNOU is doing very well.
Yes.
Out of 28 universities, many universities have got this online education, distance education, and this open learning education is popular not only here, even in foreign countries. In England, it is very popular, and in fact, we have been inspired by the British government. Britain adopted this, for those people, who could not go to regular colleges because so many problems. They established the Center for Distance Education that has become popular. And in India, I think it was D. Javregowda who took the initiative when he was a vice chancellor and called it as continuing education. And now it has become a separate university, and it is doing very well. And we are very, because I am seeing in the newspapers so many programs are being announced, and of course there are some complaints, this and that, but they are not very important. They are only negligible, but it is doing very well. And the governments must also take into consideration for the effective implementation of the recommendation of the NEP regarding the distance and online education. Separate, they have mentioned this in the case, in the document also. They have mentioned it, distance education.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, next question.
Sir, my name is Ravikant.
Ravikant, yes.
Do you think the establishment of new universities, sir? Establishment of new university without any infrastructure, whether is it?
I think it is not very feasible. They should have waited for a long time. But say in Karnataka, Kannada University in Hampi, that folklore university in again, that what Bailamangal or something there, folklore university, music university in Mysore, Sanskrit university in Bangalore. They lack infrastructural facilities and qualified teaching facilities. Even today, they were created more than 5 to 10 years ago, but till today they have not been able to get all the facilities they wanted. And therefore, before establishing the university, a committee should be appointed to examine the possibility, feasibility of establishing a university in every district. And therefore, I agree with you. Because every district don't need the university. Every district don't need the university, not at all.
ಈಗ ಹೊಸದಾಗಿರೋ 9 ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿನೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸರ್, ಫೈನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಟೈಟ್ ಇಂದಲೇ ಓದಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು.
Yeah, you are right.
ಕೊಪ್ಪಳ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು,